What is up, guys? Troy here, and welcome to a somewhat special edition of Battlefield My Thoughts. That's right, I did say Battlefield and not Battlefield 3, because today I'm actually showcasing some Battlefield Vietnam. This was the second Battlefield game that came out after Battlefield 1942 and all its expansion packs. It came out in 2004, I believe. I recently reinstalled this on my PC and installed a couple of mods, and I've been playing the hell out of it ever since. But the main reason I'm showcasing this is just because, this is a Battlefield channel, and today I wanted to talk about Battlefield 4 and the reveal and my thoughts on it. But I hope everybody is having a very happy weekend, a good Saturday. I'm watching the NCAA Final Four tournament. Spoiler alert, Syracuse and Michigan are about to play, and Louisville came out on top against Wichita State, so I'm happy about that. I'm rooting for Louisville to go all the way. But back to the video, mainly wanted to talk about the Battlefield 4 reveal. I know a ton of other YouTubers had shown their thoughts on it. I wanted to show my thoughts on it. I kind of went back and forth. I kind of struggled internally whether I should do a video or not. The reason why I didn't do it the week of the reveal is mainly because a lot of other things in the gaming world had grabbed my attention more so than DICE and EA's reveal of Battlefield 4. You had PAX East and the Game Developers Conference happened the same week that they revealed Battlefield 4, so I was more paying attention to that. A lot of great stuff coming out of PAX East. But I'm going to mainly talk about what I feel about Battlefield 4 so far that we know about, and whether I'll be getting it or not. So let's talk about it. We saw the 17-minute reveal trailer, Fishing in Baku gameplay playthrough, single player, and that's probably my biggest gripe about it, is the fact it's single player, and for two reasons. I'm not against single player games, but here's what I am against. I'm against single player in Battlefield. It's not what Battlefield's known for. Battlefield has made their name and kind of built their brand and their franchise on multiplayer, and I'd like to see them stick to that. I feel that pumping a ton of resources into the single player side could maybe be a detriment to the multiplayer side. I'm a little skeptical. I could be wrong. The other problem I have with the single player is if you watched the playthrough, you'll notice that it's very linear. It's very much on rails. It's an on rails type of experience almost. And I really do not like those types of single player games. When I play single player games, which I do, I like the more open world sandbox approach to single player games, where I can go off and do my own thing, and if I want to complete the main quest or mission or storyline, I can. It's at my choosing. I think a lot of other games have certainly created great single player experiences around that facet of a single player. You look at the Grand Theft Autos, Silent Hill's somewhat the same way, some of the Metal Gear games, Mercenaries. I was a big fan of the Mercenaries games a few years back. Those are the types of single player games that I like, this open world sandbox approach that I have the control over to do what I want, and then if I want to complete the main storyline, I can. That's one of the things that I have a problem with the Battlefield 4 single player, is the fact that it's very linear. Go this way to complete this mission. It looks like when a lot of the action is going to happen, there might be button sequences, quick time events that you'll have to perform. And while those were innovative 7-8 years ago, I believe it was Resident Evil 4 that really put those to the forefront. They're kind of worn out, and they're very dated now and overused. And there's a lot of animosity towards single player campaigns like that. So that's one of the things I do not like about this, is the fact there is a single player and the route they went with the single player in terms of the mechanics. Let's talk about some of the things I did like. It looks awfully pretty. They've really taken the Frostbite 2 engine and really pumped a lot of juice into it, and really jump-started it. Improved destruction, improved character models, Now, DICE has gone this route of marketing it as the Frostbite 3 engine. It is actually not a brand new engine. It is in fact Frostbite 2.5. It's the Frostbite 2 engine basically pumped up on steroids, which is good. Now we're going to have improved destruction, which is certainly great, especially in multiplayer, the multiplayer settings. We're going to have better character models, probably deeper customizations for your character model in multiplayer, maybe more deeper weapons customization, which I like as well. And we're seeing new mechanics being put into the gameplay, even though it is a first-person trailer that we saw. I could see this making its way over to the multiplayer trailer, and that's where the soldier or the marine basically tilted his rifle off end, and he had the iron sights lined up on the side. I believe that kind of comes from the Medal of Honor Warfighter side. I did not play Medal of Honor Warfighter, but I believe that's the type of mechanic they're bringing into the game. So improving the engine not only gives better destruction, but you're bringing in things like better gameplay mechanics that can improve the overall flow of the game, and that's something I'm really excited for. There are a few other things that I am skeptical about. The new spotting feature, I'm not sure how that actually works. Spotting, if you remember from Bad Company 2 going into Battlefield 4, spotting was changed quite a bit. Spotting was basically nerfed when it went through, and a lot of people didn't realize that, and they thought spotting was basically broken in Battlefield 3, and it actually wasn't. It was nerfed. If you don't have line of sight on somebody, you cannot spot them in Battlefield 3. Battlefield 3 also has a cooldown for its spotting. There is a penalty for spotting or for spamming the spot button too much. You'll hear that little click, and you gotta wait 4 or 5 seconds. Those didn't exist in Bad Company 2, and if you spot someone in Battlefield 3 and they go behind cover, you lose the spot. Those mechanics didn't exist in Bad Company 2. Spotting basically was a wall hack in Bad Company 2. You spotted somebody, they can go behind cover and they're still spotted. There's a little orange Dorito above their head. And so I was quite happy when they changed the spotting mechanic in Battlefield 3. I'm still kind of skeptical. I mean, what exactly, we haven't really heard what exactly the way that the spotting mechanic works. I guess it does some kind of hand signal, maybe hits something in his hand to spot the enemies, but we're not sure if it's going to work similar to Battlefield 3. So I'm kind of skeptical about that, kind of curious to see the way they're going. But of course, the gunplay is what I really like to see. So far what we've seen in Battlefield, in the Battlefield 4 trailer, the gunplay doesn't seem all that different. Other than angling your weapon off end to hit those side iron sights, other than that, the player was using the M16A3, so the reload times and the animations were the same. Now it's true they could be placeholders. We're not totally sure, but I'm kind of curious to see the multiplayer reveal and really see what they plan to do on the multiplayer side, because I'm going to pre-order the game, but I need to know what I'm getting in the multiplayer game, not what I'm getting for the incentive of pre-ordering, which is always good, but what I'm getting in the multiplayer game itself. I'd like to see some alpha footage, or maybe some pre-beta footage, and if I were to estimate, I would maybe guess probably around mid-summer they might reveal the Battlefield 4 multiplayer launch trailers. That's about what they did 2 years ago in 2011 when Battlefield 3 was being released. They released the Fault Line trailer, which is a single player playthrough, and then they released the pre-alpha footage of Operation Metro. So I'm hoping, soon that we will see some release footage of the multiplayer. One of the other things that does kind of bug me, and this is not all DICE's fault or EA's fault, but the timing of the game. Now, I don't mean the timing in terms of, is it too soon after Battlefield 3? I don't think it is. Here's what I mean about timing. It's been confirmed that the Battlefield 4, the game, is being developed with PC as its lead platform in mind, unlike Battlefield 3, which started out as with PC as the lead development platform and changed to the console midway through to meet deadlines and time requirements and things of that nature. But the thing is that Battlefield 4 is going to be released on all current platforms, at least the Xbox 360, the PlayStation 3, and PC, before the next-gen consoles release. So now you have kind of, if you're playing on the console side, you have kind of a conundrum. Do I wait and buy a next-gen console just to play Battlefield 4, or do I get it on current consoles? Because make no mistake, you're not getting Battlefield 4 on current consoles. You're going to get Battlefield 3 with Battlefield 4 maps. In this episode, in the next episode, I'm going to link various articles, but there is an article I'm going to link in the description of this video that basically states that DICE is going to keep 30 frames per second for current consoles, 24 player max servers, the same amount of destruction that Battlefield 3 had. They didn't want to sacrifice those core elements just to bump up player count or frames per second. They basically would have to remove all destruction and remove all vehicles, and a lot of players probably wouldn't like that. So if you're to pre-order or buy this game at all, Battlefield 4, on current gen consoles, you're not going to get a full Battlefield experience, certainly not a full Battlefield 4 experience. And then when the new next gen consoles do release, you're not going to be playing multiplayer with PS4 players. It's not going to happen. They're going to be in two separate deals. There's this division among the player bases now. It's going to be an even further divide, which is Battlefield 3 has had a problem with its player base being fragmented, with things like premium and the individual DLCs being released, people buying the game late in terms of just buying the base game and not having premium, not having any of the DLCs. But the fact the timing of the consoles, new next-gen consoles being released, coinciding with the timing of Battlefield 4 being released, really fragments the player base. And in my next video, I'm going to talk about basically PCs and consoles and try to nudge people to ditch the console, ditch the next gen console, go ahead and build yourself a gaming PC and really not have to worry about the limitations of consoles themselves. And I'll be linking various articles in that video as well. But those are pretty much my final thoughts on what we know so far about Battlefield 4. Did not care for the fact it was single player, do not care for the mechanisms they're putting into single player, the fact it's very linear, it's somewhat on rails. But another good thing is that it's still early. We still have quite a bit of time before Battlefield 4 is fully released, so there's still a lot we don't know, and there's still a lot coming down the pipeline. So definitely I'm going to stay tuned for that. But I appreciate you guys watching the rest of the video. Really appreciate your support. Thanks always, guys. Remember to stick around for tomorrow's video, where I'm going to talk about PCs and consoles and why I'm about 5 seconds away from dropping consoles altogether and just sticking with PC. Thanks, guys.